Check out this good old hometown place with like actual real homemade sandwiches. Yes, they do have toppings here as well. So it's been a minute since I've put up any videos. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, I was just way too busy for a while to even make videos. And two, I was in an accident that made me rethink a lot of things. I actually took down a lot of videos off of my channel, and that was just kind of reactionary, perhaps. And thought about saying no to every single opportunity or request to transport anything for a while, and that was a little bit reactionary as well. But I am still in some sort of stage of figuring out how I really want to respond long term, if at all. But some of the basic conclusions that I've come to are to really slow down what I'm doing, focus on doing things for the right reasons and in the right way. And it's not easy to do because I'm in the habit of living really fast all the time. And I don't think that's a good habit. I'm just gonna say it is a habit, and like all habits, it's very hard to break. Even giving myself permission to feel that downtime is a good thing, is a necessary thing, is an important thing, is a valuable thing, and is something that I can choose and not feel like I am losing out on something I could be doing, but feel like I'm gaining an important thing that I haven't been doing for a very long time. So I've almost thought about not really filming. I just kind of want to, put my nose down and do what I need to do without publicizing it, and having to kind of face the reality of, in honesty, I was in an at-fault accident. And so there's a little bit more circumstance around that, and I'm not going to go into a lot of details in this video. This is a video diary. I'm going to just be showing you what I'm working on right now. Apparently the intersection in which I was in an accident has about 200 of those types of accidents or more every year. I had a stop sign. There was a lot going on at that intersection, and some blind spots I may not have been aware of. And apparently I'm one of over 200 people a year who makes the same type of error. So maybe there's something about the intersection that needs to be addressed, but I still need to know my vehicle, its blind spots, and be aware and conscious of those and be able to avoid that in spite of what was apparently an extremely dangerous intersection. No one was hurt. For those of you who are watching this and haven't seen anything else about that, nobody was hurt, but my truck was totaled. The other vehicle in the accident was probably totaled. And thank goodness nobody was hurt. So, when you post things on YouTube, then something like that happens. It's like, how do I deal with that? Nobody wants to say that they made that big of a mistake, but I did make that big of a mistake that I was in an at-fault accident. It was a pretty serious accident. I know that I have a lot of followers, or not a lot, but I have a few followers who are really following along out of a genuine interest in what I'm doing, or care for me, or, some level of just genuine desire to follow along, see what this process is like, understand what I'm doing, what I'm figuring out. And so I've decided to continue to post for you. If you've been on this channel for any length of time, you know by now some of my kind of internal struggles with this line of business that I chose to get into initially 4 or 5 years ago, and then chose to restart December 15th of last year, 2024. I have mixed feelings, have always had mixed feelings about what I'm doing. and sometimes think the world doesn't need me to be moving stuff around with these vehicles, with these trailers, whatever. The world would keep on turning if I wasn't doing this, and maybe my own happiness and quality of life would be greater. But I've decided to uphold the commitments I've already made, start with that, and kind of do a trial run where I draw some hard lines for myself for what I'm willing to do and not do. And if it, is still something I want to walk away from after completing what I've committed to already, then I'm just going to walk away from it. And if I realize once I try to be intentional about it and make it what I want it to be, that it's actually great in that capacity, then I'll keep doing it. But so what I have right now is I have a bunch of fryers that I've picked up for this great customer of mine. Really, really good person. He actually sent me a $400 advance yesterday to help take care of the situation that was going on. And then this was a $900 job, so tomorrow there should be another $500 coming in. But let's knock on wood about that. What I need to do right now is pull these all out of the trailer they're on, because I'd like to put them onto that trailer, because there's one inside of this van, and if you've been watching, the van's not running now. So I need to pull them all out, wrap them up really good, take some pictures of them, send them to my customer, let him tell me how he wants them palleted up, because there's some extras there that don't normally come into play. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this with one hand, but I'm gonna try. Here we go, just to film it. Yeah, how about I finish that with both hands? So I just need to get it all ready to go, make sure it's sorted out the way he wants them sorted out. And the sun's already going down. I worked my day job today. One of those days where I had originally declined and said, I can't plan my whole schedule around a couple days here and there. But then I happened to be in town, and I felt a little bit obligated to say, hey, you know what, I could work after all if you want me to. But at the same time, that's a little bit about me saying, hey, I don't want those 1 or 2 days at my day job to dictate my whole life, but I don't want this driving to dictate my whole life either. I like the work that I do here. I was up on High Ropes course today, guiding a group of campers visiting from another camp through the High Ropes experience, and I like that. That's really fun. And so it was a little bit about saying, hey, I can slow down a little bit. I can do a little bit of work that I like, that in theory pays less, but it's kind of guaranteed, like a little more than this other work. If well, we're not even gonna talk about equipment failing on a High Ropes course. We have really, really strict guidelines for inspection, for purchase dates, for disposal dates, and everything else. We have really good policies and practices in place here to make sure that type of situation never happens. If there was an emergency resulting for some reason, I know that I am probably the best person to have present to deal with that. And I also know I'm gonna get paid. I mean, that's obviously at a certain level of emergency, getting paid is not the primary concern at all. I'm just saying that if, my vehicle breaks down, I don't get paid, or I spend all my money trying to fix the vehicle, or I spend more money than I made in the delivery trying to fix the vehicle, or whatever. It's 100% my responsibility. So all I'm saying is that the money, even though it's not much per hour in a camp setting, it's guaranteed as much as anything is ever guaranteed. could still show up and they could say actually work was canceled today. But I think you get what I'm saying. And I decided to just go ahead and work today and say I don't need to never be able to do anything other than focusing 100% on getting delivery jobs done. So it's always a little bit hard to make that decision, and now tomorrow it's apparently gonna rain. So after 10 minutes of just talking, thanks for listening. If you're over there on the other side listening, I'm now going to shift my focus to doing some stuff that I need 2 hands for, getting this stuff moved, getting this trailer moved out of the way so I can pull that other one out, hook it onto my car, pull it over to where the pallets are. And I'm probably may not show any of this stuff, maybe I'll just show some snippets, but put the pallets on that trailer, come back here, pull all of the fryers out onto the parking lot, wrap them up, rewrap them, and take pictures of them, send them over to my customer, and hopefully before dark have them basically loaded up, positioned, and ready to go in the morning. I have the pallets here. This one should work despite the couple missing pieces. A couple of things are going on here. I had to spend 2 hours today just to go get this stretch wrap, and for the same reason, I really don't have the right hitch for this car. I have not 1 but 2 adjustable hitches that would give this about a 5 to 6 inch lift, which is what it really needs for the trailer to be level and to take the tongue weight a little bit off of the car. Now it's tipped slightly forward, and it will be tipped even more forward once these are loaded, which will put more tongue weight on the car, which is not good. And the reason I don't have those things is because they're in the truck that was wrecked and towed. I was on site at the tow yard just yesterday. I have really mixed feelings about this because the owner, he's an older guy. He started the company 50 years ago. He started as a farm implement company, and now they do towing and body work. Seemed like a pretty nice guy. Pretty straightforward, yes, no type of guy. He would not let me get my stuff out of the truck. My insurance paid for the towing already on the truck. That was over $700 for like a 5-mile tow. And then he charged me an additional $500 for the trailer, which is not here because it was a customer's trailer and I dropped it off. He charged me another $500 for that, plus $300 for, quote, 4 days of storage. That was Friday around noon until I got there Monday around noon. The way I calculate a day is a 24-hour period, and that's 3 of them. But regardless, it's only a $75 difference, $75 a day for storage. And I paid that out of pocket, so $700. I paid out of pocket, over $700. My insurance paid out of pocket. He did reduce it on the trailer for me by just over $100. It's going to be $810, and I said, can you do $700, because that's what I could come up with. And he said yes. He would not let me grab my personal items out of my truck, and I'm not sure that he has the legal right to refuse that. I have a little bit of mixed feelings because I feel like I should just be grateful I was alive and unhurt, and so was the other person in the accident. And you know, like the $300 that he wanted me to pay before taking anything out of the truck, that he wanted me to pay storage on the truck too before removing any of my personal items from it. I don't know if that's allowed by law, and I can look it up. And I almost feel like, I shouldn't. I should just pay it. I should just be grateful that the cost to me of being in that accident is $1,000 and loss of the truck, obviously, but nothing worse than that. And at the same time, I should probably just look up what my legal rights are and act on them. Now I have to go back in there to get the sink that's in the truck, which also thankfully was undamaged because it belongs to a customer. And both of the adjustable hitches, which means I can't use the adjustable hitch today. And I'd really like the trailer to be sitting right about where it is right now, level, because that would put less tongue weight on the car and that would be safer. It would also be safer if I got a professionally installed hitch. And I may need to push this delivery back again a day, which this customer will understand. He's super, super nice. He told me, please recover and rest. I don't really want to push it back a day on him, but I need to if I need to. But that still won't get me the correct hitch unless I go spend $130 again on a third adjustable hitch. And that's frustrating. I understand, you got a business to run and you can't just let people walk over you. But at the same time, for over $1,400 for a 5-mile tow and 3 days of storage, it's a heck of a lot of money. You could just let me get my stuff. So here's the stuff we got. I'm gonna have to check quickly in the van to make sure there's nothing else I'm missing. There's this piece. There must be a top to that piece in the van or something. These two. And this, which he gave me afterwards. The second guy gave me this for me, but I really don't need it. I don't want to resell it, so it's available for the taking. Well, the second search proved fruitful because I found this, and I had worked out a story in my head as to how they were both in the truck, but thankfully is that one there. I now remember why I have that one and it's not on the van. It's because it doesn't have the 1 7/8 inch ball, and so I had to repurchase for the van this other hitch. Anyways, I also found these two things. So it's 10 p.m. Just looking at all this stuff. It's like, what a huge freaking mess. What a huge mess. I don't know if I'll deliver this stuff or postpone by a day on him. Maybe it depends a little bit how long it takes me to get all this stuff loaded up and strapped down. Well, knowledge is power. At least in this case, it's the power to know how to proceed without worrying about it or thinking about it further. In Illinois, my ability to collect my personal items is extremely limited to such things as cash, checks, credit card, medicine, eyeglasses, things that I have immediate and like life-altering need for. So my ability to collect the sink or the other adjustable hitch or anything else that I want from the truck is not protected in Illinois. So at least with that knowledge, I can just go ahead and proceed and not, think I have an option that I don't have to rely on a right that I do not have in the state of Illinois. I got word from my customer to just place everything where it fits on pallets, and let's get that done. 12:01 a.m. It's actually not as late as I thought it would be. I'm also not done, but I'm done for the night. So what I've got going on, those extra pieces are in the car. I thought about getting everything secured, strapped down to the pallets tonight, but the truth is it won't ride as well. It will have more wind resistance. It will be more at risk of something coming off, not being be a little bit harder to secure for transport. So I can secure it for transport tomorrow without strapping them necessarily to the pallets at all, just running straps over the whole pallet and the fryers themselves. And then when I actually drop off, I can add those things on a couple of the pallets, and then they're going to be going inside enclosed vehicles, so they don't need to be strapped in quite the same way. That shouldn't take super long tomorrow. Also, it will be light tomorrow, and I'll be able to do a better job with the strapping. And I'm also going to add, I have pilot holes done from previous day, which you can't see because it's too dark, just to add another pair of bolts through this wooden bumper, which is not the primary thing that the trailer is attached to, that the hitch is attached to, but it is there as a backup and secondary. So those will go through the frame of the bumper here, as well as they actually are going to go through the body of the car, and a couple of 8-inch bolts should be able to do both. So that's it for the night. Thanks for following along. Catch you in a later episode.